Crisis-ridden SAA's troubles are deepening. The government wants it placed under business rescue. In a statement released today, Cassius Lubisi, the Secretariat of the Cabinet, says the national carrier should volunteer for the rescue. Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts is expected to visit the cash-strapped airline tomorrow. The airline hasn't filed financials for the past 2 years, but among the documents sent to Scopa were draft financial statements. They show SAA's suffered a loss of 5.4 billion rand last year, and there's another loss of 5 billion rand this year. Government has recently given the national carrier 5.5 billion rand and has agreed to pay off 9.2 billion rand of its debt. SAA is insolvent and it doesn't have the working capital to fund operations in the near future. Let's get some more details on the SAA developments. Now joining me is our business reporter, Heidi Jokos. Heidi, what is happening at SAA?
It's a very good question, Faith. We do understand that there's been a leaked memo that's circulating where it states that SAA has no other option but to go into voluntary business rescue. And it's important to reiterate the fact that it's a leaked memo. We are still waiting for confirmation from the Department of Public Enterprises. Of course, this is an SOE. It's a troubled SOE. And it's been a long time coming. Everybody has been wondering what's going to happen to SAA given the fact that they have been struggling for a while. They've needed 2 billion rand working capital. They were unable to pay salaries at the end of November, and they were only able to pay it in chunks. It's just been a difficult time for the airline. They've constantly needed to rely on government bailouts. They are unable to provide financial statements to Scopa in the last 2 years. So it hasn't been a good time for the national carrier, and this leaked memo seems as though they have no other choice but to go into business voluntary rescue. But it's important to note that we are still waiting for the Department of Public Enterprises to release that statement. We do understand that they are busy with the statement, and that will probably come in the next couple of hours. We aren't sure exactly when.
What does it mean, though, when we say voluntary business? I love these terminologies because ultimately I think that people are more concerned about the bottom line. And the bottom line is SAA completely insolvent? Does it need to be liquidated? Are people going to lose their jobs? Does this mean the national carrier can no longer be considered as a national carrier? Is there any hope for SA? Do you know all these kinds of questions where we start bringing in where the rubber meets the road, really, and start having honest conversations and frank conversations about SAA? So business rescue, what are we saying about the airline?
I wish I had all the answers, Faith, and it's very important to just wait for the department to come out with the official statement to say this is what it actually means. But business rescue is getting a business practitioner to come in and basically restructure the airline, help the airline remanage everything, looking at its debts, looking at how it can solve the debt problem. In terms of the jobs, it's a big issue given the fact that SAA did come out to say that they're going to have a massive retrenchment restructuring process that was set to take place next year that would see about over 900 people being retrenched. Of course, SAA announced about 2 weeks ago, if I remember correctly, that they're going to suspend that process for now, given the fact that there was an 8-day strike that was going on, and the airline and the unions came up with some kind of agreement to say, let's suspend that for now. So it's important to wait for the department to announce whether or not it is going to go into voluntary business rescue, but ultimately it means they're going to bring in a business practitioner if they do go into business, into business rescue. It means that they're going to bring in a business practitioner, and there is going to be some kind of assistance, and there is going to be extreme intervention to try and assist the airline as far as possible to basically say that, because liquidating it is a completely separate issue, and we don't want SAA to liquidate. That should not be on the table. So business rescue is almost a more positive option, if I can put it that way, because basically you're seeing a business practitioner coming in and saying, let's see what's on the table, let's see how we can fix the situation so that it doesn't go into a liquidation. And that's also something Solidarity said that they want SAA to go into business rescue, because it's a way to almost help the airline, to say you're not managing on your own. Government cannot keep pushing out billions of rands to help you. In the last budget that we had, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni said we can't keep financing something that's not making money. It's not working out. We cannot keep pumping so much in. Also, credit rating agencies rather have made it very clear that SOEs need to stop being so reliant on government fiscus. So if SAA comes out and says, oh, we got another bailout from government, how is this going to look for these rating agencies? So I think business rescue is a more happier, if I can put it that way, option.
It's a more optimistic
Yes,
option towards
exactly.
trying to salvage
Yes.
a problem. But as you're speaking, it reminds me of the unions that keep hampering about the fact that, listen, the fact of the matter is SA was in trouble a long time ago, and we said that it's a management position, it's a management issue, it's a board issue, and now the workers are suffering as a result of bad decisions that have been made, which have been articulated a very long time ago. In fact, we're speaking to someone from the Free Market Foundation days ago saying that, listen, the problem with SAA was 10 years ago. If you failed to fix it 10 years ago, what are we going to do now?
Exactly, and that was something that was pushed and reiterated time and time again throughout that strike that we covered extensively for 8 days straight. And many workers were saying it's not our fault. This has been a long time coming. The airline hasn't made profit in about 10 to 11 years. It hasn't made profits in about 10 to 11 years. I must repeat that because it's so important to focus on the financials of the company, what has gone wrong. And the workers feel as though they are being punished for poor management decisions and bad procurement deals that have happened over the last couple of years. So, you know, it's important also to note that the unions have pushed back a lot to say the airline needs to sort itself out and the workers shouldn't suffer for this.
Yeah.
And we called them just a short while ago to say, have you heard about this voluntary business rescue, that, you know, this leaked memo is roaming around? They have no idea. NUMSA as well as SACA, the South African Cabin Crew Association, which were the two main unions on strike about 2 weeks ago, are unaware of this. So
you and I are having a conversation about workers that NUMSA and SACA have got no idea about. Well, what a way to find out regarding the state of SAA.
We have to emphasize that we need to wait for the Department of Public Enterprises to obviously release a statement and just to give some clarity, because there's been so much speculation ever since that strike was over. The department saying it cannot carry on in its current form, and you know, the department is just, it's giving us signs, but it's not giving us a clear message. So we'll have to wait for that
I think that
message.
one would say that right now everything is critical but stable. We have to leave it there for this evening.
Stable, but
critical but unstable. Heidi, I'm trying to be positive. Business reporter Heidi Jogos giving us the latest on SAA.